Woo! Live and direct. Put in perspective. It's your boy BMAD, man. We back again. My boy Raymundo Telemundo. Hit your SAP button. We back at, man. We had a little time off, man, but we here, man. Knicks, Nets. Another victory for the Nets. Another win for BK. That's the going on right now, man. How you feel about the Knicks, Ray?
Yo, I feel good. First of all, you already know we got to start this from Santo Domingo to Panama to Miami and back up top to Nueva York, where it's popping. It's popping. I can't wait to get to the bar.
Yo,
it's gonna be.
It's after it's games like this. Like you want to be in the bar after the game after this shit. Whoever wins or loses, cats cracking jokes. Your team lost or your team won, boosted and boasting about the win and shit, talking shit. Like this is definitely one of those. But we we're in COVID still, so let's respect that. I'm actually at my bar at home. Recorded live from the basement. You know what I mean? But yeah, Brooklyn pulled out the win. That was a tight game. This is a good game, bro. This is probably one of the best games I've seen this year from the NBA. Not just because it's a Nets game or it's a Knicks game. I thought it was a very competitive game mostly from beginning to end. The Knicks really put up a fight. Even though when the Nets had like a lead, like a 12-point lead or 14-point lead, I always felt like nah, it's the Knicks are still in this.
You felt the Knicks were still in this?
It was times like, I just felt like this. They just play hard, man. They're a defensive team, and especially looking at the fourth quarter, that first quarter even too at points. I just felt like, all right, this game is not going to be one of those games where Brooklyn like just gets away, takes the lead and blows them out. I just always felt like it was going to be a game, and then that fourth quarter, I was like, oh shit. The Nets are scary hours. That's all been our thing, but it was looking like it was turning to that scary hour for the Nets, man. The Knicks is making that comeback. Got it down to 4 points at one point. I think it was like 4 points.
By 3. 115, 112.
Yeah, it was like 3 points.
It came down to Randall. I mean, Kyrie had a great game. Randall ended up having a great game. He started getting it going, but it was the last play. It's going to be controversial. Inbound play to Randall. Fakes he's going to hand off to, I think that was RJ, who was inbounding it. Kyrie ends up switching on Randall and tips the ball as Randall goes for the jump, the three-pointer. And that's where the controversy is coming from. I think your man, what's his name, Philly, on Twitter?
I mean, Wahid. North Philly Punisher.
He was. I didn't get back to him, but according to, I don't even know. I can't memorize all these rules. Everyone always has these next level rules, but I always remember if the ball gets tipped, you could dribble it. I used to hate how you controlling the ball. If it gets tipped, it's like a fumble almost in basketball, where you could kind of dribble the ball down and then take the jumper again. And Randall was upset because the ball was tipped while he was in midair, and he went to go drop the ball, take another dribble, and went to take another shot, but they called it travel, which in real time it did look like a travel. So and they had just lost the replay, the instant replay, because they swarmed Joe Harris. The Knicks did, RJ Barrett, and I forgot the other guy's name, and they called a foul, thinking that they wanted to foul Joe Harris, but they played great defense. The Knicks used their replay to overturn that. Got a jump ball. Knicks got possession, called a timeout, and that's what led to the Julius Randle play. But it was beautiful, man. I'm still excited. Like I see the Nets daily going, oh, the Knicks are going to say you mentioned Mitchell Robinson. Nah, man. And this is what it is. I'm not I was never a delusional fan. You see, shout out to the Knicks Porzingis, the unicorn. We're back, baby. We're back. It's over. The Knicks have never been in this position in my life.
Where's your Patrick Ewing jersey?
At my mama's house. Anyway,
Good answer.
so but I don't recall maybe when the Knicks were planning on getting Jordan in 96, 97, I think it was, and they signed Allen Houston, uh, Larry Johnson, and they signed a whole bunch of players in the 90s. I think this is the last time. Say it again.
Talk about you talking about Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I think this is the last time that the Knicks had a chance to with this much salary cap.
93. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's when Pat Riley had just left, and so it's exciting. I wasn't too excited back then because of the whole we're going after Michael Jordan thing, and I didn't see us beating Jordan and the Bulls. Really, the Bulls just had too much of a team. I don't see the Knicks beating the Nets, but the Nets have a 2-year window, bro. I don't see this going more than 2 years at this high octane level. Maybe Harden can play for that long, but how many games seriously has Durant played in the last 3 years? 2 years.
Not a lot. I mean, obviously, it's the injuries, man. He's out right now, but I mean, if look, the team as is, even without KD, and they got young pieces around them that I love Nick Claxton. Of course, Joe Harris is a good player. Of course, Kyrie and James Harden, they're still they're still young. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're not young, but they still got fresh legs. I still feel they got a few more seasons under their belt. They could still play at this high level. It's just KD is the one you got to worry about now with this injury, with the
And
hamstring and the AL. Um, they said this week they're gonna find out more about it. We'll have more details going forward, like what's gonna, happen for the rest of the season. But I mean, I still like this team, man. They still have a promising future to me. I mean, we'll see. The Knicks look like they have a nice team. They have a nice future set up themselves. They're like a point guard away from really like, all right, really making some real noise. Like they're making noise now. This is great to see. I did not have them 20-20 at this point of this season, even with Tibbs. I really didn't know what to expect. It's good to see that they're overachieving. It's good to see that they're actually playing good. So yeah, but I think their future's bright. If they get someone like Lowry, you know, that's a possibility. They're just a point guard away from really taking off. You keep someone Julius Randle around and you got RJ Barrett, they have a good future.
I just think my thing is with the Nets, you have those. They did the right thing. Like if they want to win right now, it's the Yankee move and like the 2000 Yankee move and what the Knicks always try to do. What the Knicks basically try to do and swung and missed hard body karate on. The Nets did this perfectly. They
Yeah.
they built a culture. They built a culture. They traded the right players away. They got the right pieces in. You know me, I was never a fan of Kyrie and Durant being on the Knicks at the time. Harden makes changes all of that. So they must have had intel on another superstar, being able to pull another superstar to Brooklyn. So that's cool. But I still didn't want that. I'd rather this. I can't believe that's part of the reason why I'm excited about the Knicks and why I had the revelation when we had Z Mac on last week. This is how I want them to build. Yo, draft picks. What what Scott Perry's not getting enough credit for drafting not quickly. That's actually I just read the article about how they drafted Emmanuel quickly. And this guy in the post, I can't even pronounce his name, but he really pushed for Worldwide West pushed for him, as a matter of fact, because he knew. I guess he had some ties with the dude from Kentucky, Calipari, and people were just doubting him. And they were scared that either Boston was going to draft him or Toronto. But they pushed for him. People thought he couldn't shoot off the dribble. He's shooting 90% from the free throw line. Quickly, he's amazing. The one thing I said from the beginning, from the first quarter I saw, they're giving the Knicks the top of the key. Shoot 100 jumpers from the top of the key. I don't care. Shoot 1,000 from over there. And the first person actually to expose that was Kawhi Leonard when the Clippers were playing against the Nets the last time. I saw Kawhi would just come down court and pull up from the top of the key. Like it was like 3 or 4 straight possessions.
Mm, that's a good point. I
I
have no
just,
retort. I'm just listening. Um,
but what do you are you concerned about the Nets late game closeout? That's what everybody's concerned about on the net side.
yeah, earlier this season I was because they weren't closing out games. The games, games teams they were supposed to be beating, like teams below 500, they were not doing a great job closing them out in the fourth quarter. They were giving up way too many points to teams like Detroit, Cleveland, lost to Cleveland back to back, going to overtime. You haven't seen that a lot in this run they've been having with these wins. Like tonight was one of those rare nights where it was had a problem closing out. Then the other night against Detroit too. Like James Harden, he really went off. He dropped the only 10 points that the Nets had in those crunch time minutes on the last game to beat Detroit. So yeah, it worries me a little bit. It does because you got teams like this. I guess this is going to be the formula going forward for teams that will face the Nets come playoff time. Like just see how hard nosed the Knicks play against them. Teams like Detroit, guys that get up face the Clippers. It's gonna be probably one of the only things that's really bothering me. Other than that, they still have the three best players, and hopefully Durant comes back and he's healthy enough. They still have the three best finishers in the game that they're the X factor. Anyone could be an X factor any night. Kyrie's just he's playing lights out right now, man. He looks good. Kyrie is like in another zone right now. Tonight he was in the zone. The other night against he dropped forgot who that was. But he just looks good, man. And then and for right now, it feels like every other game or every night, James Harden's putting up a triple double. Like it looks crazy. Like it's fun to watch right now. But yeah, they got to work on closing out teams, especially teams that they should be beating, should be closing out. You know, so we'll see.
Yeah, but it was just an exciting game. I think Tibbs just from top to bottom. I know they were flirting with the Andre Drummond thing today. I was thinking Andre Drummond could make the Knicks better and or make that defense like another level, but I'm not sure. I think Z-Mac was right. He was telling me, nah, man, go for a point guard or another wing rotation guy. And I don't know if Oladipo is that. I have to really look at throughout the league and see who really is available. I mean, these guys are shooting. Randall's 40% from 3 point. Quickly before tonight was 38%. Uh, and RJ Barrett was 35, 36%. Like they're not shooting bad. Even Nicola Tito, who fouled out, like that was another narrative for tonight. He couldn't make a move without
Yo,
getting a foul call.
listen, Frank is a disappointment, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Like they just, he's a flop to me. He's a bust. He's a bust, bro. I mean, what spot did he go when he got drafted? I forgot
I don't
when
even
he got
remember,
drafted.
but I think it was a
No,
top
no,
10
no.
pick.
Yeah, first round, yeah, it was like, damn, and he fouled out, 0 for 5, 16 minutes. Like it was just in 16 minutes you foul out. Like that was just terrible. I don't know what the hell happened there, man. He just that's terrible, bro. I'm
It
sorry,
was
man. You might well just he might as well get out the game. He contributed what? What to the game? I'm looking at his stats now. What he had? 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 6 personal fouls in 16 minutes. That shit ain't cutting it, bro. And I don't see this guy being on the Knicks after this season. They have too many players that just are much better than him. He's just not an option to me no more. Like he's a bust. I'm sorry to say it, man. I really had high hopes. Well, not high hopes. I'm lying. I had some hope that this kid would be something like, all right, let's, because they were giving him a lot of flack when he he first came there. I was hoping that he would just like overachieve, and clearly he has not done that. So that's what it is.
I at least thought it would be like I think Shumpert. When we got Shumpert, it was the first, I think his rookie season, we played Miami in the first round and he twisted his knee. And it was so heartbreaking because he played one-on-one defense so well. And back then, the league hadn't fully transitioned to what it is now. And I just saw some tape today that was comparing the Knicks defense to what the Heat do, switching and the way they swarm the perimeter. And they blow the pick and roll game for any other team. But that's who I thought Nikola Latina
Okay.
would have been. Was like a shumper, like a one-on-one player that, you know, at least you have that. But he can't even, I mean, his shooting isn't that bad. It says 40%, but he only gets up 2 shots a game. He barely plays. I think at this point, to not gain enough respect from the referees, something is going on and you have to figure it out. That's just part of being, and as a youngster, as a young dude, I would have never understood, the term you got to be a professional, but a professional is just an expert in what you do. You learn the rules, you learn the ins and outs. There's authority figures around you there, and you have to learn how to play within a new kind of game. Like it ain't just pick up basketball. These are rules, and it's also about entertainment. There's so many things that can probably, you know, mess a kid's confidence up. Who's saying like, yo, I just want to play ball, man. I don't care about the rest of this stuff. And maybe with him that's what's going on. I don't know. But him and Alfred Payton and Nick Latino are like in the Knicks doghouse. Alfred Payton is number one. He's like number one on the shit list. Nobody likes that guy. I don't like him, but it's still exciting, bro. Like I can't lie. That salary cap being the lowest in the league, top 10 youngest team in the league is really exciting for the even, it's supposed to be a rivalry with the Nets and all that, but the Nets, bro, it would be ill to see them win. It just would because they got the right team around them. I really don't. Who would you want to see them add, if anything? Because the Blake Griffin thing, you guys got to stop with this already. I'm getting it's getting out of hand.
Who would who relax? Who would I want them to see? Who would I want them to add now? Like I think, listen, Nick Claxton has been a great add for the Nets. Him coming back from injury and the way he plays, his athleticism. He's tall, he's lanky, he can stretch the floor. Yo, he could do a lot, man. He's a good defender. He can catch an alley oop. He plays this. He plays the floor. He spreads the defense. Like yo, I love it. You know what I mean, that I think the Nets are pretty set right now as is. I don't see the need to pick up anyone else at this point. I mean, I can't wait to see Blake Griffin finally play again. I believe probably by next week we probably see because he hasn't played like in a month, so they trying to take it easy with him. Um, we'll see. And then if KD comes back, who knows? The mentality of this team, just hearing Jeff Green talking the post game, next man up. No one's being selfish. No one cares about who's scoring what. We just give it to the hot hand and we roll like that. And that's what they've been doing. So I really feel like even though certain plays might come back, like KD, and then you got Blake Griffin coming, I don't think guys are worried about minutes. Like, oh, I need my time. Like Tyler Johnsons of the world and the Nick Claxtons. I think just guys just want to be a part of this. Like it's something. This can be something special. It's already something special. Just seeing these three players come together and the way this team is playing. They're now ranked number one according to NBA.com. Number one, number one offense, obviously. Number one team ranked in the league at the moment. Um, we'll see, man. I just hope the Nets can keep it up. I mean, improve more on the defensive side, but they look good. They look good without KD. And if KD comes back and he's like he plays like how he was before he got hurt this year, scary hours for the whole league.
I agree. I think that is what they're missing. The trans and also the transactions that I think they're trying to make is almost an attempt to keep everybody else weaker. Because why else would you want to get Andre Drummond? He can ruin the team in a sense. Like adding anybody can ruin the chemistry. So the only reason why you would make those deals would be to like nix the Lakers or especially Philly from getting stronger. So the biggest acquisition the Nets are
Yeah.
going to get by the end of the year is Kevin Durant. If he's able to come back, I mean, I'm a little concerned with that now, bro. Like Durant not playing and then coming off an Achilles injury, and a lot of times I've always heard about someone getting hurt, whether it's the left knee, and all of a sudden they overcompensate and they hurt their right knee. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that happened, but he's older. And that's what my fear was when it was time to sign him. I'm like, people act like that's not an Achilles. It's called like it was not an ACL tear, it was an Achilles injury, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and there's a reason for that. Like he's older. It's a serious game, bro. So I just want to see you always want to see greatness. And the Nets do look really good. And the next thing you always want to see is like, all right, who can compete? Unless at least with the Warriors before KD was there. No, even while KD was there, we got some good games against San Antonio. Kawhi got hurt in that series.
Oh, yeah.
We had some good games against the Houston Rockets. The problem was that the rest of the league was so watered down. So we got to figure out a way to have like a real G League or something. But if we're gonna have a super team like this, but in the meantime, let's figure out who the next team is to compete against the Nets. But you just want to see greatness at its greatness. That's a little Wayne line that I've always admired. That I wish I came up with myself. Is greatness at its greatness. That's what we thrive. That's what we talk about. That's what is in the history books. And when it comes to basketball right now, that's what being great is. A lot of one-on-one play. And Harden isn't just a one-on-one player. He went back to OKC Harden a little bit. People forget that. And he's just way more comfortable at that. Two more one-on-one players. You see with Kyrie, 50%, 50% from the field, 57% in the paint. That's just all has to do with you got two more one-on-one players that you can't double. You can't double Kyrie. So that's what they're missing. They're missing Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Um. Damn. What the hell just happened?
Something happened?
Oh, yeah, my screen just went blank, man. What the hell? I don't know. But all I'm gonna say is I forgot who it was. I was watching ESPN and we're gonna transition. I just want to say quick. It was one play that was commentating about James Harden. It was like, did he change his game when he came to Brooklyn? And it was a former play. He said no. He said he's just that he has two other pieces around him, or just the proper pieces around him to make him look much better than he did in Houston. But yo, his numbers in Houston was still crazy, man. He was still putting up these crazy numbers. It's just that now he's on a team where you have an unselfish attitude. You got players that's ready to win. You got other great players around him. It looks good right now. I mean, I'm happy for him, man. Triple double, two triple doubles back to back. He had one against Detroit. He had one tonight against the Knicks. So yeah, definitely in that top five MVP conversation. And you got to throw Kyrie in there too, some way somehow. Kyrie's been playing phenomenal.
In the MVP
Yo,
conversation?
I'll get yeah, hell yeah, Kyrie. Why not? Got to, bro, bro. Those numbers, man. Like bro, they're 12-1, 12-1 in this stretch right now. The only loss is the game that Kyrie did. I mean, most of this is due to just James Harden setting up the whole team. But man, the way Kyrie's been playing, bro, it's been like lights out. Like he hasn't really had too many bad games or off games. Like, damn, he was in a funk tonight. He's just really been stepping up, man. It's beautiful to watch. Damian Lillard even complimented Kyrie tonight. He says the most beautiful game style of play I've ever seen. Damian Lillard said that shit. So I mean, a lot of players around the league giving Kyrie his props this year.
Uh Dame said that a couple nights ago on Instagram, but I don't think even with Embiid on Philly, I think that's the problem with Philly. If you watch them now, they kind of play the same. It's almost like they were built around Simmons, and they're not built around Embiid. And that's kind of you'll see Embiid take over because he has to at the end of a game against the Utah game. He had a classic, like epitome of an Embiid game. So when you see it, to me, an MVP, they always have these moments and these takeovers, and especially the culture of the team, the culture of these New York Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. That's James Harden. Like I think if that whole thing about MVP conversation, what position, what number are you putting Kyrie Irving in? I think that's like disrespectful. What number is he coming in? Because you got Embiid, Harden is in the mix, so he might be one number three. Who's number two? I still got Giannis in number two. I don't think Kyrie Irving means more to the Nets than Giannis does to the Bucks.
No,
Or
all right. No, I hear what you're saying. It's just that to not have that. I'm not saying he is the MVP, but if you're gonna have this conversation right now, the way he's playing, he's just as valuable to that team. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an asset. Like you put him on a certain other team, like he's gonna the way he's been playing, he's got to have that conversation. His name gets tossed in that conversation. I'm not saying he is the MVP, but I'm not even the only one that's been saying this. Like this talk is just not me bringing this shit up because he's balling out of control. He's not taking no one's name on that list. You got obviously Joel Embiid, but he's hurt now. You got Joel Embiid. You got James Harden. Still got to throw LeBron in there. Who else? Who else comes to mind for you? And
I think
KD before
Jimmy
he got
Butler.
hurt. That was another.
I
Jimmy
think
Butler.
Jimmy Butler means more to Miami than Kyrie Irving ever will. Kyrie Irving, before James Harden got there, he was still kind of a space cadet. He didn't have it all together. He felt way more comfortable. He missed a couple games, and whatever happened in his life, personal life. I don't know. I don't want to judge him, but Harden took this team to another level, and that's without KD being there. So if this was the Oscars and they had a co-star award, sure, give Kyrie's up for the co-star award, but not in the MVP conversation. That is all media bullshit that they don't even know how to come up with. Just say he's having a great year, and if there's a Robin Oscar, but that sounds too disrespectful for jocks and athletes. They would never come up to want to get the Robin award, but you should have a co-star award so that people don't feel bad. And Kyrie Irving has been a great co-star. He's a great number two, but James Harden is a great number one.
I think right now he his name gets inserted in that conversation. That's just me though, but
Hmm.
we'll see.